I absolutely love it. This is one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite times at a convention. Is the chance to talk with you guys. And you know, even like if a convention will write me, they'll say, are you okay with doing a group panel with other people? And I'll say, sure. I'll be happy to do whatever you want to do, but I would like to at least have maybe an hour or an hour and a half on Saturday to get the chance to just talk with you guys personally. And the people that run this convention are so awesome. If you don't know that, let me just tell you, go home and write them and tell them thank you for what a great job they did this weekend. Because I've been up here several times and you guys are always so kind. Last night we were sitting around the fire, me and Steve Bloom and Steve Downs and Charles Martinet and Tony Oliver. We were just talking about how these events in Sacramento are some of our favorites because of you guys. You're so fun and so enthusiastic. So thank you for that. So I was really excited when they gave me 3 chances this weekend, 1 every day. So let's talk about, don't get all excited, baby. Keep it quiet. Let's talk about whatever you'd like to talk about. A hand darts up in the background here, very quickly. Yes, my dear, do you have a question? Uh-oh, I know that face. What is your question, my dear?
Do you speak any of the languages from Star Trek?
Now there's a good question. No, I don't. I speak Captain Kirk, but I don't speak any of the other languages. No, do you speak Klingon? I know Kapla, you know, I know that, that's probably. What's that mean? Really? Wait a minute. I gotta learn that one.
Jimushaso.
Jimushaso. Jimushaso. I love you. Alright, I got it. That sounds very Japanese, doesn't it? Jimushaso.
We would know.
Hello. What's your question?
I just wanted to know what are your views on Tamaki's relationship with Kyoya or any of the other hosts?
Well, Tamaki's relationship with Kyoya, I find it fascinating because, you know what, you guys? Oran does something very, very well that a lot of good Japanese animes do well, is they lure you in with comedy. And then at just the right moment, they turn it, and it becomes real dramatic. And you're like, oh! And you know what I mean? And you're like, damn you tricked me. Here I am falling in love with these characters and thinking it's just this lighthearted, fun thing, and suddenly I find myself like weeping over something. And Oran, for me, the episode that really started doing that was the one where he met Kyoya. I think the title was When He Met Him, or something like that. And where these 2 boys become friends, and you guys, if you remember the episode, Tamaki is a little nutcase, and he's like, you know, you have a kotatsu table, and Jaya, Manami, my friend, right? And, but then they start talking about their backgrounds and their families, and I'll never forget it. I was recording, and I didn't know this was coming, but I read this line of dialogue from Tamaki, and it said, well, my grandmother hates me, so... And I don't even remember what the rest of the line was, because that caught me. That he just very matter-of-factly said, you know, that his family hates him. And then you start finding stuff out about Kyoya's family, right? You remember his family, his father, and all of their big expectations of Kyoya, his brothers and stuff. And then I started getting really emotionally moved by Tamaki. And what I realized was the reason that Tamaki created the host club wasn't to make out with girls. The reason he created the host club was to have a family that he didn't have, right?
That's really
obvious. he had no relationship with his real family, and he wanted to have a family, and that's why he protects it with such great passion. So yeah, I love the relationship that Tamaki has, even though he's always at odds with the twins. They're still part of his family, and he wouldn't think of doing something without them. You know what I mean? So I love his relationship with the other hosts.
Okay, so first of all, you are my longtime inspiration, so it's nice to meet you, Miss.
It is a pleasure to meet you, sweetheart. What's your name?
Caitlin.
Hi, Caitlin. Thank you, sweetheart.
My friend had you sign something for me before back at Sac-Con, a DVD. Yep, I got it as a Christmas gift.
Well, I'm honored to have been part of your Christmas. Thank you, sweetie. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. What's your question?
Okay, so have you heard of Attack on Titan? And if you have you taken an interest in dubbing it?
Have I heard of Attack on Titan? Vic, have you heard of the planet Mars? Well, yes. Yes, I actually heard about Attack on Titan, and I read up on it, and I was like, ooh, this looks really cool. Unfortunately, if you're a big star, you can pick your projects. You know what I mean? If you're a big star, you can go, I think I'd like to do that. I think I'd like to do that. I am no such person. I don't get to pick squat, right? I throw my hat into the ring and audition with everybody else. And I want you guys to know that I wanted to be a part of Attack on Titan so bad that when you're recording an audio audition, even video, if you're sending it someplace where if the auditions are someplace you don't live, like if I'm in Los Angeles and an audition for, let's say, Attack on Titan is happening in Funimation in Dallas, but you would expect typically that I would record an audition and send it in, right? Bada bing, bada boom, done. I record an audition, I do my best, I send it an email to the director and hope for the best. I wanted to be in Attack on Titan so bad.
You flew there?
I bought myself a plane ticket and flew to Dallas for literally 4 hours. Literally flew in, went to the studio. Vic, what are you doing here? I'm an idiot, that's what I'm doing here. So I went and auditioned, and the reason that I wanted to do that is because when you record an audition remotely and you send it in, you have no idea whether or not what you chose to do alone in your studio at your house is what the director wanted. Doesn't matter if you did a great job. What if it's not what he wanted? And you couldn't know what he wanted because he wasn't there. You have to make a choice in a vacuum, right? So I'll give you a perfect example. I'm just kind of stream of consciousness here, so bear with me. It's Sunday. We're all tired. I auditioned for something once, and I recorded the audition. I was actually at a convention, and I recorded the audition, and I sent it in, and I didn't get cast. And the next time that I was in the studio, and I asked them to what happened with that, or whatever happened with that such and such a project, and who ended up getting cast and such, and they told me. And then I heard some of what they did. And you know what I thought? I could have done that, but I didn't know to do that. Because I didn't have a director going, I don't want him to sound like that. Can you make his voice a little lower? Can you take him down a little bit? Can you make him a little more nasally? Can you do that? If you don't know what the director has in his mind, you can't possibly record it. So that's one of the dangers with recording, alone and sending an audition to a studio. And so I wanted the best opportunity possible to get a chance to be in Attack on Titan. Caitlin. Attack on Caitlin. That's the sequel. And, so I don't know the answer to that question, Probably the follow-up is, so are you going to be a part of it? I don't know. We shall see. I certainly hope so, because it seems like a really, really cool show. Yes. Might be kind of personal. I don't talk about personal things. That was supposed to be a joke. Everybody was like, are you kidding? You like pour out your heart everywhere. Yes. Thank you. Oh my gosh, yes. I can't imagine, yes. She said you're very open about your faith. And do you ever get any backlash because of that? OMG. Yes. You know what I found out a lot of times? A lot of people that I've met in the anime industry, anime fans, anime voice actors, everyone within every aspect of the industry. I've noticed a very common thread, and you know what it is? A lot of them have had really bad experiences with religion. Why is that? I don't know, but they have. As I think about it, it's probably mostly because someone in their life did not approve of something that they loved, or something they were drawn to, or an interest that they had. And if that person happened to be religious, they'll tell you God hates that. You're grieving the heart of God. You know what I mean? Blah, 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 blah. Throwing God's name around to reinforce their opinion about something that they don't like particularly. And by the way, I grew up in that kind of environment, so I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. But I think the thing that's the saddest about that is that there are a lot of, what's the word, not stigmas, but perceptions that people jump to. I get so many emails, you wouldn't believe it, I get so many emails from people that say, I heard you hate homosexuals. I heard you're homophobic. I heard, Vic, that you are banned from all Texas anime conventions for making homophobic remarks. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Caitlin, I have never made a homophobic remark in my life. And I've never been banned from any convention for making any remarks. I love you no matter who you are, or who you love, or what your particular interests or passions are. But you know where that comes from? Because someone in their life knows somebody who claims to be a religious person and hates homosexuals. Ipso facto, Vic is religious, so Vic hates homosexuals.
That's true.
That's exactly it. Do you see it? They jump to the very same conclusion that they trash other people for doing. They assume that because I have a faith that's extremely important to me, that I must be the same kind of person with the same kind of prejudices as some other person in their life. And that's really unfortunate, because it's not the case. It's not the case. You want to hear something funny? I can't believe. Talk about personal things, right? My Star Trek production. The DP, my DP, Matt Busey, is gay. I love this guy so much. I always tease him, and I'm like, dude, if I were gay. And he loves it. He gets this big smile on his face. He's like, you know? Like, I would marry you, dude. I have no problem with that. And you know what? The only thing I can do is tell you that in a setting like this, and hope that you go home and get on those forums and those places where people talk that garbage and try to squelch it and try to keep them from saying things like that. But it is, yes, I get a lot of backlash, a lot of backlash. And it's sad, it's unfortunate, because you know what? All I want to do is share something good. You know? I feel the tears coming on right now.
I see it.
No, I didn't want you to go, ooh. I believe that faith and that God's love for us is a really good thing. Loving somebody is not a bad thing, guys. I don't know who taught you any different. Being loved is not a bad thing. I'm not talking religion. I'm not talking any particular, Catholic, Baptist, Presbyterian, fill in the blank. I'm just talking about plain old flat out love for you. That's a good thing. And I feel like it's a good thing to share it with people. If I genuinely care about you, and I hope you know that I do, if I do, then obviously I want to share good stuff with you. And if I feel like I've got some really good info, if I feel like I've got something really special to share, what kind of a jerk would I be to keep it to myself? Right? Caitlin, if I knew that there was somebody out in the hallway handing out $100 bills, and I came in here and I didn't go say to you guys, you're my friends, and I didn't go, oh my gosh, Caitlin, go out there right now. Somebody's handing out $100 bills, right? Because it's a good thing. It's a free gift. Somebody's giving something good away. I would want to tell my friends to get them in on it, right? And that's what I feel faith is, and love and relationship. And I feel like I would be remiss not to tell people about it. But there is a lot of backlash. A lot of backlash. Yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to go so deep in everything. It is Sunday.
Can I please glomp you?
I don't know. Can you glomp me? Do you have glomping powers? You think so?
Yeah.
All right. Stand on that plate right there. And we're just going to see how good you are. This is the glomping lane. Look out.
I saw you actually when I was in my dog console yesterday.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that was awesome. Okay, watch out.
You saw it, huh?
Yes, I did.
Thank you.
Hey, you're second. I'm first. What's your name, sweetie?
Lindsay?
Lindsay?
Yes.
All right, Lindsay, you get one shot at this. All right, I want to see your best glomp. Try to get some serious air as you're coming. Ready?
Ready. Ready?
Yes.
Go, 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 go.
That's so. Yes.
That's so cute.
Oh my Yay. Good job.
Yes, Lindsay.
Good
That
job.
was an 89 on the Richter scale of glomping. Yes.
So I know you're a Doctor Who fan. So the question is, if the Doctor picked you to go with him, where would you choose to go?
Or what?
Oh, just gotta think about this one.
Gosh, what a great question. Ever since I was a little boy, I was always fascinated with dinosaurs. Like I'm alone in that. And I was so into them, and I would study them, so that might be really fun. But then there are so many places in time, cultural things and historical things that you learn about in school, and you kind of wonder what it really looked like. You know what I mean? They didn't have pictures or photographs yet or video, so you have these artists' concepts, right? And you think, I wonder, you see a picture, a painting of somebody, and you're like, I wonder what that person really looked like, Like, he didn't look like that, you know what I mean? So there are so many of those kind of places in time. The Titanic, stuff like that, the Colosseum, and major moments in history that you learn about. You have an imagination in your mind. You imagine what it must have been like. And I think that's one of the things I love about Doctor Who. What a great show. What a great show. Yes. I did. You didn't expect it, did you?
While you're at these cons and everything, I kind of wonder, besides from going to these panels, these question and answer, what else do you do? Do you ever have a chance to go to the exhibits or anything?
I love the dealer's room, but I never get to go usually. Well, she said you get mobbed. So, you know what? More now. I didn't used to, but now, if I go, you know, I end up talking to it, being approached by a lot of people, which is fine. But I always enjoy going to the dealer's room just to see if there's anything new out there. Right? And but I don't always get to do that. And I'll be honest with you guys, you'd be surprised how much it takes out of you to do this all day long. Because you're not just being you, you're trying to, there's a heightened sense of awareness and enthusiasm and listening and looking and interacting with people. And when you're aware that a lot of people are watching you or videotaping you, and if they catch you doing something stupid, it'll be all over the internet in an hour.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That quick, your reputation. You know what I mean? You could be a laughing stock. And there's a little bit of pressure in that, to be quite honest with you, knowing that there are a lot of people watching every move you make. But at the end of the day, I guess I say that to say, at the end of the day, you're very tired. And you just want to kind of sit in a quiet room and just decompress a little bit. And so I actually don't get to do too much. I was telling Steve Bloom last night, I saw him and I went up to him and I gave him a big hug. We were downstairs in the hotel. And I said I was looking so forward to being here with you this weekend, because Steve and I are great friends. I love him, and we've become really close over the years, and I haven't seen him as much as I'd like to. And when I saw that he was going to be a guest here, I'm like, sweet, I'm going to get to see Steve, and we're going to hang out. No, that didn't happen. He had his schedule, and he was exhausted at the end of his day, and I had things I was doing, exhausted at the end of the day. Steve Downs as well, Master Chief. He and I have done several events together, great friends. I love the guy. And you think you're going to get to spend time with these people and have all this free time at the convention. It just doesn't really work out that way. Usually at the end of the day, you're just ready to just sit quietly. Yes?
Hi, I'm Charles. I liked your song, Nothing I Won't Give.
Oh, thanks, Charles. Thank you.
And I always wondered, what was like one of the hardest times that you had during your career? Like where you almost felt like you could just not continue on?
I've had a lot of those moments. You guys, I appreciate, Charles, I appreciate you saying that. And first of all, guys, let me just also say this. Sorry if this is a little bit heavier panel than normal. I hope you guys don't mind. No. Actually, there might be some good, substantial stuff, right, that comes out of it. We certainly have fun and have fun stuff and do fun stuff. But I appreciate you asking, because you know what? Every one of you, if you have not already faced that kind of moment that Charles is talking about, you will, eventually, right? I never imagined myself having a career as a voice actor, so there was never any point in my life where I was like, I might as well just give this up. I should quit voice acting. Because I've always done several different things at the same time. My life is like a pie. There's a slice of music, and a slice of video and film, and a slice of graphic design, and a slice of anime voice acting, and a slice of on-camera acting, and at any given time, those pieces of pie are different sizes. Know what I mean? Perhaps this month, the voice acting piece of pie is big, and the music piece is this big. Maybe next month, the on-camera thing will be big with another Star Trek episode, and I'll be spending a lot of time doing that, but I won't be doing much voice acting. So it kind of fluctuates, but each of these different things that I do gets a varying amount of attention, and it fluctuates. But there have been and there will always be those times, Charles, and I hope you guys don't allow yourselves to be derailed when that happens to you, okay? You can come out of those things. stronger. In fact, that's the purpose of them, is to make you stronger and more resilient. And so when they happen to you, don't let yourself get really overwhelmed and like, oh, I'm giving up, blah, blah. Not only that, it happens to everybody. So how you handle it is the most important thing. Don't be surprised when it happens, because it does.
I met you 2 years ago when you sang me on my birthday, and my birthday was yesterday. I was hoping you could do anything for Dark Mouse.
Your birthday was yesterday again? Happy birthday. Now what's your name?
Listen.
Kelsey? Maybe we can sing to you again, Kelsey. What do you think? Step up here. You guys, let's sing happy birthday to Kelsey. Is anyone else's birthday today? Yesterday? Okay, this is Kelsey. We're going to sing very softly. I keep finding myself talking louder. Do you hear it? Do you hear how I get more excited and more excited? Okay, help me, Kelsey. All right, here we go. Let's sing to Kelsey.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kelsey. Happy birthday to you.
It's so good to see you again. Good to see you. Yes.
Just to lighten the mood. Okay. Have you ever thought about doing Disney? And who's your favorite Disney character?
Well, I've thought about doing Disney. I've thought about doing everything, but haven't had the chance. I've auditioned for a couple of small things, but it's really interesting. The big things, like the big Toy Stories and Shrek and Frozen and these big things, which I loved, by the way. A lot of us voice actors, it's the weirdest thing. It's like we never hear about those things. It's almost like they selectively cast them with people they want to use. Our agencies never even hear about them. They never get any kind of sides, submitted from Disney that says, we're looking for auditions for this young hero guy, or this evil queen, or this crazy bartender, or whatever the character would be. I think they just cast them. It's a different thing, believe me. But I would love to be a part of something like that. As far as favorite character, I loved Beauty and the Beast. I really loved that film. And Frozen was really great.
Yes.
And of course, that's like right present in my mind. But I love a lot of the things that they've done. I can't think of any one specific character, but I just love what they do. And of course, like, what do you call it? Oh my gosh, right out of Pixar. Up. Oh my gosh, Up. Oh. One of my favorite things ever. Yes, Spider-Girl.
What inspired you to get into voice acting?
Well, I'm glad you asked. What inspired me to get into voice acting was, I never was really inspired to get into voice acting, I just wanted to act. I was inspired to act since I was very young. And a lot of you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. You want to perform. When they have a school play, you're there to audition. When your church puts on a program, you audition. You sing, you like performing. And since I was very young, I enjoyed performing as well. So I never really would say I was inspired to become a voice actor. I just had a great passion and a desire to perform, and would sing in church and school and community productions and take little acting classes and even go to camps. I remember a drama camp that I went to when I was a teenager. It was the coolest thing. It was like YMCA camp, only it was for theater. So you would learn about building sets, makeup, costumes, blocking, script writing, lighting, everything about theater, acting, and then at the end of the week you would put on a show for your parents that you did the costumes for, and that the campers all did the production. And so I have always had a great love for performing. And it was just as simple as somebody one day in Houston, Texas saying to me, "Hey, you've got a lot of experience in acting, don't you?" And I said, "Yeah." And they said, "You ought to go and audition for this place in town. They're called ADV Films. And they buy these Japanese shows and they dub them into English and they're looking for actors." There was nothing inspired about it at all. You know what I mean? It was just like, "Hey, you want to do something like this?" I was like, "That sounds like fun." And I went and I did it, and I didn't really think anything about it, and it just snowballed from there. I never expected it, never knew what would ever come of it when I started it. It was just another chance to act. It was just another form of acting. So, yes. Huh?
Hi, I don't know if you remember me from Friday you sang to me.
Oh, yes, hi. Glad you're still here.
Hey. I was wondering, I don't know if you'll do this, but maybe you could propose to me as zero?
Oh my gosh.
That's such a...
All of the hands that are raised, and that's the one I don't know that Zero would propose to anyone but Yuki.
Was Yuki right here?
Oh, she's selling you out, girl. How would Zero even propose? He's such an angsty little guy.
Just
What?
Come with me.
marry me.
Yeah. Marry me or I'll suck your blood. Be my wife or be my next meal. I'd have to think about that one. Let me think about that one. I'll get back to you. Yes, my dear. The show, Sherlock? I have heard of it. You guys, anybody watch Sherlock? I have heard of it. I've never seen it, but I have heard of it. I hear it's really good. Is it good? See? Another show that I should be watching. I just don't have time to watch it. Yes, my dear. Okay, we're gonna do a little yellow theme. We did that one, now we're gonna do this one.
Mine's actually like two parts. And the first part was, would you consider yourself one of your own fans? Like when you see your things, like, oh, you know, how do you feel when you see something?
What a great question. No. You know what? I can't get past the fact that it's my voice. You know what I mean? It's the weirdest thing. But like the first, I'll give you a perfect example. Edward Elric. When I did the first episode as Edward Elric, the very first one with Cornello, or Father Cornello, right?
Yeah.
I did that episode and I saw it. I watched it and I was like, this is dumb. Nobody's gonna believe that I'm a 15-year-old kid. I sound like me. I sound, you know what I mean? But that's not what everybody else thinks. I mean, everyone else hears my voice differently than I hear my voice. So I have a perspective that makes it difficult for me to enjoy. Now, if you change over to music, I've done a lot of things musically that I'm proud of and that I think sound good or well composed or well produced or wow, my voice sounded really good right there, or that big high note that I belted out, that's strong and solid. But more so with music than with voice acting. And you had a second question?
Vic Mignona senpai, will you notice me?
Oh, wow.
Yes, I notice you. All right, let's find another yellow one. Oh, there he is. Yes, sir.
Two questions. One, did you have a second question?
What?
He just sold you out. Oh my gosh. He's trying to get me to kiss your cheek. Again. Whoa. Wait a minute. Did you get one yesterday? Why are you embarrassing this poor girl like that? Well, come here. Stand up here. Come here.
Oh.
Second one? You're not getting a kiss on the cheek. Going straight for the lips, man. I love milk. I don't know what Ed's problem is, because I love milk. I love milk. Chocolate milk, strawberry milk. Any more yellows? Okay, we're gonna move to, let's see. Red. Move to red. Yes, my dear.
Say first off that you've inspired me to become a voice actor, and this is my first time meeting you, so.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, and I love your Attack on Titan necklace. I think Kaylin will probably steal it later. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you.
My question was, what were your first thoughts of Yoshimori and all the characters from Kakaishi?
Thank you for mentioning Kakaishi. I loved him. I loved Laura Bailey in that show, and Troy Baker. That was a great show. My favorite part of the show was Troy Baker, was Mararao. I used to, and I don't know if you know this or not, but I used to tease him. Because how many of you have seen Kakaishi on Cartoon Network? Mararao is this dog. He's a spirit dog that floats alongside of Yoshimori. He doesn't have any legs. He's just this dog tail and the head of a dog. And so the moment I saw this character on screen for the first time, I was in the studio and I was recording my Yoshimori lines, and the moment, you know, I'm like, it looks like a sperm. I'm not being dirty, that's a scientific term, y'all. And I was, tell me if I'm wrong. It looked like sperm. Sperm dog. So I would call him Sperm Dog. I knew his name. I just called him Sperm Dog anyway. So I started teasing Troy Baker, and whenever I was recording, if I went in to record first, I would leave him little bombs, little audio bombs, you know, where instead of saying, you know, do you sense something, Mararao? I'd be like, do you sense something, Sperm Dog? And then a week later, Troy Baker would come in to record, and he would hear it, and he would text me, Sperm Dog, nice. So, and somebody came up yesterday, are you in the room? Right in front of me. And they had drawn they'd drawn this original cartoon where they called him Sperm Dog. And Troy signed it. She said Troy really enjoyed it. So, I loved Kakaishi, I really did. Yes? Are you sealing? Pretty good, right? You look great.
What would be your favorite anime that you've ever watched?
Favorite one that I've ever watched? I think I mentioned this on Friday, but you know, when I was your age, I loved Speed Racer. But the trick is, I didn't know it was anime. It just looked weird.
Gotcha.
Right? It didn't look like the regular cartoons, and it certainly didn't sound like the regular cartoons, but I just really liked it. It was strange and interesting. And so there were several of those shows that I learned now. They were anime, and I didn't even know it, like Kimba the White Lion, and
classic.
I don't even know, just Thundercats and on, just whatever. I mean, I can't even remember all of them, but I never knew where they came from. I didn't know why they looked weird, and now I do, of course. But can I tell you, what's your name? Logan? Like Wolverine? It's pretty cool, bub. I'm going to tell you a really neat story, a really, really neat Speed Racer story, okay? If you heard it on the internet, if you saw it on a panel, I'm sorry. As I said, when I was your age, loved Speed Racer. And my friends and I would even go run around imitating the characters in Speed Racer, which is kind of funny, right? Because now I'm a voice actor. Literally, I would imitate Pops Racer and Spritle and Chim Chim and all of them. Racer X, everybody. And about maybe 6 years ago, now, five or 6 years ago, an anime company organized the first annual American Anime Awards. Does anyone remember those? They had, it was like the Oscars, only it was for anime. So there was Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Long Series, Best Music Score, Best Packaging. I mean, all different elements of anime. And I was nominated for Best Actor for Edward Elric and for Hikaru Ichijo in Macross.
Wow.
Because I'd done both of them that year. And I was nominated with like Johnny Bosch and Crispin Freeman and I think Yuri Lowenthal. So the fans voted to narrow it down to finalists, and then the finalists were voted on by industry professionals. And we all flew to New York City for the big gala production, like the Oscars. They had it televised, you know, just like the Oscars. The statue, you know, that's the Oscar, ours was called the Mecca. It's the coolest thing. It looks like you know, like a Voltron kind of a transform, but it's solid gold, and it's on the little pedestal, just like an Oscar. So I go to New York for the finals, for the final show, and I'm sitting in the audience with everybody else, and I'm sitting beside this guy, this old guy. He was an old guy, and we're talking and about nothing really in particular, just chatting. And they start the presentation, and they're going through the different categories. The nominees for Best Female Actress in a Comedic Role are blah, blah, right? And they would come up on the stage and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, they present the winner, blah, blah, blah. So I'm all excited and kind of knotted up about the Best Actor, because we don't know who's gonna win. But I'm sitting there, yucking it up with this guy beside me, this older guy. And then they got to a category in the production where they said, and now we're going to pause the regular presentation of awards, and we're going to give the Lifetime Achievement Award. This man was the voice of Speed Racer. Blah, 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 blah. Please welcome. And the guy sitting beside me stood up and walked up and received the Mecca Award. And I'm sitting there like this. And he comes back with his award, and he sits down, and he's showing it to me, because we were buddies, right? Only now I know who he is. 10 minutes later, they had Best Male Actor, Best Actor perform, and I was fortunate enough to win. So I went up on stage, and I got my Mecca, and I came back down and sat in my chair beside the frickin' voice of Speed Racer, and showed each other our statues. How is that for coming full circle? Isn't that weird? Logan, isn't that weird? That could be you, dude. You realize that? That could be you. Like, it could be any of you. I would have never imagined that would have ever happened in a billion years. And here I am, not just sitting beside this guy who I used to imitate when I was Logan's age, but getting an award with him, sharing that experience as a peer. Crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. Weird, stranger than fiction. Yes?
Hi, I have a friend that couldn't come today, and she was like crying because she really loves you. Oh. Like she has every line you've ever said in Oron memorized. It's kind of
It's better than me.
I felt so bad, so I was wondering if you could say in the Tamaki voice, Brianna, you are now a host, and I could record it and show it to her.
Sure, let's sit.
Wow.
Ready? Brianna, you are now a host.
Yeah.
That's my name. Not only do you have a red shirt, but you have a red guitar. Double. Parents, I just want you to know your children are safe, all right? Don't get freaked out when I, like, you kiss me on the cheek, you kiss me. It's all harmless. It's all harmless fun. What is your name? Stand up, Ileana. Present your cheek for kissing.
Oh.
Stand up. What is your name? No, it's not. Really? Okay. Present your cheek for kissing.
Oh.
And ooh, a host. Stand up. What's your name? Megan. Are you Honey Senpai or Tamaki? Because it would be really weird for me to kiss Tamaki on the cheek. Thank God she's Honey.
Yeah.
Does anyone have like real question? Like a real question? I believe this lady does, right here. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Nothing says Star Trek. Not before you hear the music, before you see the uniforms, before the first photon torpedo fires, like the background of being on that ship. How do you make that sound?
What a great question. Well, you know what's really cool? All of it. Oh, thank you. You know what? There have been CDs released with all of the audio from the original series of Star Trek. Not just the music, but the sound effects. All of the rooms had different ambience to them. The transporter room had this, you know, and each room had a different sound. And there are these CDs out that have all the sound effects, and so we very meticulously use those to recreate that exact mood. I appreciate you asking that. Thank you, sweetheart.
See, I watched the original when it aired originally.
I was right behind you, believe it or not. Believe it or not, I was right behind you.
It was my favorite, so I'm real excited that you're doing that. I'm going to go right home and look them up.
I hope you do. I hope you do. Yes.
First off, just
Ooh, she has a Flamel symbol tattooed on her wrist. Very cool.
Because of you.
Because of me?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yes.
I love you, Todd Habercorn, Laura Bailey, and Travis Willingham. But I need to know, what was it like actually working with them together?
Well, you know, I appreciate the question because it gives me the chance to tell you guys something that you may not know. Voice actors don't work together. We don't record together. Because it's completely impractical to record all of the lines and match all of the sync with several different actors. It's just impossible. In fact, it's very rare that one actor will get the line just right the first time. There usually has to be some tweaking, like, okay, you need to do this section faster, you need to pause here, we need to add a line here. So you really have to work the performance to get it to match the mouth movements. If you now you try to do that with 2 or 3 people, never happen. Now the Japanese, they all record together because they only have like storyboards to the Japanese, to the show, to the anime before they record their voices. So they actually have a lot more flexibility in their performances. The director will get all the actors together and they'll record a scene at a time, and the director will edit the scene the way he wants it to go, and then he hands it over to the animators, and they animate the characters to match the actor's performance. No such luck with American dubbing. We get the animation, and it's done, and it is not to be changed, not to be touched. So our challenge is to fit the mouth movements of the character at the same time as we're trying to deliver a believable performance. And that's the tricky part. But having said that, Travis and Laura and Todd are some of my favorite people, and you know, it's always great to see them. Usually it's at a convention. Most of the voice actors that I know and have become friends with, it has been because we've done conventions together. Isn't that funny? It's not because we've ever worked at the same time in a show. I told somebody the other week at a convention, to this day, the girl that played Trisha Elric, Ed's mom, I've never met her. Isn't that weird? Because you can, I mean, Trisha didn't have a lot of lines, right? So she wasn't around the studio a lot. She'd come in, do her lines, hour or two, she's gone. And I wasn't there. And she doesn't do a lot of convention appearances, so never met her. Years and years and years, she's played my mother. I've listened to her voice in my ear, you know, and I've never met her. That's just kind of the downside of voice acting sometimes. Another host. Yes.
I actually have two questions. The first one is, can I have a hug?
Always, come here.
Oh.
You know,
You must be Haruhi. You make a great Haruhi.
and can I give you something?
Sure. Uh-oh. Are you kidding me? You're giving me Pocky.
Oh.
If I didn't love you before, Haruhi. Thank you, sweetie. You know, somebody gave me a little packet of the Hello Panda, those little crackers with the little cookies with the filling in them. The other day at the, was it you? Because I will beat you up for your panda for those things right now. No, I'm just kidding. Somebody gave me one of a little packet of the strawberry ones. And do you know, the moment that the autograph session was over, on Friday, I went a beeline down to the vendor's room and I bought one of those industrial sized boxes of those things, and I'm taking it home with me. Yes. I love you so very much.
Oh.
It's about humanized dragons. And I have a character that you would be perfect for. His name is Ryuji. Would you ever want to try?
Absolutely. That actually, I hear about stuff like that a lot. What I would say is, I mean, you know, we're always interested in doing something fun and something cool. What I would say is just drop me an email and tell me more about it. It would be difficult to do a line without like knowing, you know, a great deal about it. I don't think I could right now, but if I knew more about it, maybe I could. Of course, get over here.
You.
Yes, Maria.
I'm going to sell up my friend. Her name is Janine, and I want you to say her name and give her a hug.
Say her name.
I know.
In Ed's voice. It's
Wow.
kind of like my voice, isn't it? Janine, I love you. Here, I'm going to start having to call on boys.
Yes.
Because boys don't want hugs as much.
You want me to have the answer?
Yes, sir. Absolutely, man. That's me.
Curious, were you a fan of the Fallout series before the nuke break?
I knew nothing about Fallout. I knew the video, it was a video game, and that was all I knew. And yeah, I really enjoyed those. The Nuka Break web series that I was a part of. I didn't know anything about Fallout though. And but you know, the more I talked to people, they told me what a great game it was. Yeah, thank you for asking. Aha, another guy.
Have you ever traveled to Japan, or have you met any of the Japanese voice actors in Japan?
Yes. Rami Paku.
Awesome question. I've had the privilege to go to Japan twice. The first time was just for fun, to hang out with a Japanese band that I actually did a convention with, and we became friends. They're called Move, and they did like music for Initial D and some different anime series. But the second time, excuse me, the second time was just last fall. I actually got the opportunity, I was hired to do a role in this really cool new thing called an e-manga.
Oh, yeah.
It's very cool.
Oh.
there's a company that's making these electronic manga that you can download into your phone, and you can read them. But what's really cool is that at the push of a button, they have Japanese voices recorded with the panels, right? But at the push of a button, you can listen to it in English.
Oh.
So not only is it really cool, but it also even allows you to maybe kind of learn Japanese and start to understand, you know, like this is what this word is, and this guy just said this, and here it is in English. And so it's a great learning tool as well. It was a series called Reini Kokoa, and I can't remember the character's name, but they flew me over there, and I got to do that. Now, the first time I went to Japan, though, I wanted to do two things. I know there are a lot of things to see in Japan, and I'm sure, I mean, could spend a long time there seeing everything. But the two main things I wanted to do was I wanted to sit in on a recording session and watch them do it the way they do it. Because as I said, it's very different from the way we do it. And the second thing I wanted to do was get the chance to meet Romy Park, who played Ed.
Right. Yeah, the Japanese Korean last name.
I really wanted to meet her because she was supposed to be a guest at Anime Expo the year before with me. We were both supposed to be at Anime Expo. And at the last minute, something happened with her travel visa. She wasn't able to come. I bought her a gift. I was so excited to meet her. And it was really a disappointment when she wasn't able to be there. So when I knew I was going to be going to Tokyo, I told this Square Enix friend of mine, if you can figure out a way to help me sit in on an anime session and maybe get the chance to have dinner or have a cup of coffee or whatever with Paku-san, that would be awesome. He did both. I sat in on the recording of a series called Bamboo Blade.
Yes,
you know Bamboo Blade?
I love that series.
That was what they were recording over there. And you know what was really fun? The best part of that was I'm sitting in the control room, and the woman that's translating for me is sitting beside me. And she says, you see director beside you, director? He assistant director, Full Metal. And then she's like, you see so-and-so, and she'd point out different people. He did this on such and such a show. And all of them had worked on other shows that I had been a part of. Then, they took a break, and she said, would you like to meet the cast? You would like to meet the voice cast? I'm like, yes, please. So we walk into the studio, where all of the actors are sitting around smoking and chatting and, having a little break. And she gets their attention. And in Japanese, she basically says, this is American Seiyu, voice actor, Broly, Dragon Ball Z, she listed several. And then she said, Edo-san, Hagane, I don't even know the Full Metal Alchemist. And all of a sudden, and I'm just standing there. I have no idea what she's saying, except occasionally I would hear Brody, or something that I recognize. And as soon as she said Full Metal Alchemist, I'm looking at this cast of these actors, and their eyes get really big. And they turn and look at this one girl, one little sweet little girl actress in the back, and she starts jumping up and down. And she goes, Winry! Winry! She was the voice of Winry.
Wow.
And she comes running and hugs me. And then another girl pops up and goes, Rosa! Rosa!
Wow.
And we're hugging, and then we're taking big pictures. We look like a baseball team. And it was really fun because while we didn't speak any of the same language, clearly we had a connection. It was really, really. So then, that was the first thing that I wanted to do, right? Second one was meet Romy, and they arranged for dinner in Roppongi, which is like the nightclub area of Tokyo, for me to have dinner with Romy and with Seiji Mizushima, who directed Full Metal Alchemist. So we met at this place, and she comes walking in, she has an assistant with her, and I mean, you know, again, you hit it off. You feel like you have this unspoken connection. To have created the same character in different, in different languages. And I was carrying with me the gift that I had bought for her. I dragged it all the way from the States to give it to her. It was a cowboy hat. It was a really nice, well-formed black felt, because I saw pictures of her online wearing cowboy hats. So I knew she liked them, and I was from Houston. So I thought this is a perfect gift. So she opened the box, and she puts it on, and we're taking pictures, and we're hugging each other, and eating food, and having a great time. And one of the last things she said to me was, we left the restaurant, and we were standing out in the street waiting to get into a cab. And she looks at me, stand up, sweetheart, because I remember you're a cute little tiny girl. She's about this girl's size. So cute, Romy, so cute. She looks up, she goes, I want to go United States, you. I want to do a convention with you? Like, oh my gosh, Romy, yes. So I was like, we have to do a convention together. I was telling her, we need to do it, me and Romy. And I know exactly what we should call it. 2 Eds are better than 1.
Yes. Yes.
You guys, oh my gosh, we are way out of time. It's 2:03. Hey, listen, I have one more chance to meet you guys. I'm going to be signing one more time from 3 to 5. So if I haven't gotten to meet you, or if you haven't gotten the chance to come by and get something signed, or get any of the music DVD or the DVD concert DVDs or anything, please come by and say hi. I love you. I hope you had a good time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I was gonna ask him